Okay, let's talk about one of the most critical moments in any employee's journey, their first few months on the job. We're going to dive into how you can transform that initial onboarding period from just, a bunch of paperwork into an actual launchpad for long-term success.
So let's just start with a number, 82%. That is the kind of improvement in new hire retention that companies see when they have a really strong, structured onboarding process. This just shows you getting this right isn't some nice to have, it's absolutely crucial for keeping the great people you worked so hard to find.
And it's not just about keeping people around. A great onboarding process can also boost a new hire's productivity by over 70%. So think about that. You've got people who are staying longer and they're contributing more, way faster. The business case for this is, well, it's a no-brainer.
Right, so this is the main point. Onboarding is truly a make or break time. Those first 90 days, they set the entire tone for an employee's future with the company. It's really where they decide, hey, did I make the right choice? And it's where the company builds the foundation for either a super engaged team member or someone who's already looking for the exit.
But here's the classic trap that so many companies fall into. You either get new hires who are just stuck in this endless loop of training videos, totally disconnected from the real work, or they get thrown straight into the deep end and are just expected to perform, but with none of the support they need. Both of those paths just lead to frustration.
So what's the fix? Well, the solution, and really the whole idea we're talking about today, is to completely rethink that separation. We have got to stop treating learning and doing like they're two different activities. The real magic happens when you weave them together right from day one. That's where you create this powerful synergy.
Which really brings us to the big question, right? Should a new hire focus on learning or should they focus on doing? For so long, we've treated this like an either-or choice, but the best approaches show us that the real answer is both, at the same time.
And this is where we get to the heart of it. Let's break it down. You've got learning goals, which are all about looking inward. They're about building up your own capacity, acquiring knowledge, and getting skills for the long haul. And then you have performance goals. Those are outward focused. They're all about taking that capacity you just built and using it to deliver a specific result right now.
This quote just puts it perfectly. Think of your learning goals as the means. That's the toolbox, the knowledge you're gathering. And the performance goals are the ends. That's what you actually build with those tools. See? One directly fuels the other.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do we actually make it happen? Well, the blueprint for this is the classic 30, 60, 90-day plan. It's a super practical framework for weaving these two types of goals together into something that works.
And here's the basic flow. The first 30 days are all about learning and observation, soaking it all in. Then, for the next 30, the focus shifts to contributing and skill building. And by day 90, the goal is to be fully integrated and performing, just like any other member of the team.
Let's really zoom in on that first month because it's so important. The priority has to be that foundational learning, company culture, the core products, how things get done. And the performance goals here, they're intentionally small. We're talking about things like shadowing a coworker or assisting on a simple task. The real goal here is to build a solid foundation of knowledge and, maybe even more importantly, confidence.
As they move through that framework, you can see where this is all headed. By the end of those 90 days, that new hire label really starts to fade away. They're becoming a fully contributing member of the team, taking on the same kind of goals as everyone else in their role. The ramp-up is officially complete.
Now, theory is one thing, but let's make this really tangible. What does this integrated plan actually look like for different kinds of jobs? Let's walk through a couple of real-world examples. Okay, so take a new software engineer. You can see the connection immediately. Their learning goals, like finishing a boot camp or pair programming, directly enable their performance goals, like fixing a small bug. Every single piece of learning is put into practice right away.
And this is not just for tech roles. Let's switch over to a new sales rep. The pattern is exactly the same. They learn the products, they get certified on the pitch. Those are their learning goals. And that knowledge empowers them to hit their performance goals, like building a prospect list or shadowing a live sales call. It's learning and doing totally hand in hand.
Now you might be thinking, sure, but does this really work at a huge scale? Well, just look at Google. Their famous Noogler onboarding program is built on this exact principle of quick integration and getting early wins. And their data shows it works. This approach made their new hires fully effective a full 25% faster. That's a massive advantage.
So let's pull all of this together now. Why is this integrated approach so incredibly powerful? Well, it's because it creates a genuine win-win scenario for absolutely everyone involved.
So what's the big payoff? You get the two huge metrics we started with, higher retention and way faster productivity. But it goes beyond that. This approach also leads to employees who are way more engaged and who are better aligned with the company's mission right from the get-go.
And you can just see how everybody benefits. For employees, they gain confidence and see a clear path forward. For managers, their new team members become productive and aligned way sooner. And for the company as a whole, you get higher retention, better performance, and a stronger reputation as a great place to work. It's a truly virtuous cycle.
So if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Onboarding is not just some formality you have to get through. It is the single most important launchpad for an employee's entire career at your company.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. Take a look at your own onboarding process. How does it balance that need to learn with the drive to perform? Because getting that balance right could be the absolute key to unlocking the full potential of every new person you bring on board.